Why is Hex better than Bitcoin? Well, first of all, it's the fundamentals of the code. The fundamentals of code are better than Bitcoin's fundamentals. The inflation model is better than Bitcoin's inflation model. The staking feature is better than a mining feature. It's new tech versus old tech. It's decentralized versus centralized. Yes, all of those things. Hello, Hexkins. How's it going? Ahoy, crypto pirates, cryptopians, all my degens, my dregs, my misfits of the world, trying to change it. Appreciate all of you. Thanks for coming. 2 streams a day. Look at us go. Hey, Mel, Tony, what's up? Say hello to the chat room real quick. Crypto Truth, what's up? How you doing, man? Good to have you here. Shout out to you too. Appreciate you. Dorsey. All right, Dorsey. Thanks for coming by and hanging out in Vegas with us. Appreciate you. Yes, I did get you on DC. See, you forget, I'm the captain. All I had to do was just put out the word and block a Rooney, baby. Put you in timeout. Mess with the captain? Come on. Come on. Some people respect me. Some people respect me. All right. Well, hey, got a great show for you tonight. As always, come on, they're always good. We're always when we're talking about crypto, Hex, your health, your wealth, your finances, your friendships and relationships, and all the good stuff that helps make you guys better people, so that we can go out and onboard the world and try and change it and give everybody the freedom that some of us have already been given so freely. Remember, to whom much is given, much is expected. That's why we're here doing what we do. And that's why I'm going out on the tour. So this weekend, Saturday, so the gentleman that I'm going to have on the show right now, he's going to be with me this weekend out here in Southern California in Irvine. We're going to be talking crypto. We're going to be speaking DeFi. We're going to be talking about PulseX, Hex. Going to go break down crypto and why these things are better. Why is Hex better than Bitcoin? Well, we're going to explain that to you if you come out and see us. So if you're in Cali, get to PulseChainTour.com. Come see us. Hang out. There's VIP tickets. There's a big party going to go on. I got in trouble for saying there's going to be beautiful women there, so I should be careful with that. But there's going to be a party, an after party after the VIP dinner. We get to hang out with all of us and talk crypto and ask questions and be part of the networking effect here. And then after that, like I said, big party at Hexotic Rentals in Irvine. He's got Lambos, Ferraris, Porsches, stuff everywhere. Going to be a badass time. So that also, you go to PulseChain Tour. We've got a Houston event coming up. You're going to want to check into that. But the big one, the big party that's going on is the Las Vegas party. Don't want to miss the Las Vegas party. March 6th through the 9th. 3, 6, 9. March 6th through the 9th, we're going to be in Vegas doing the same thing. Only it's going to be 3 days of awesomeness. So let me read you real quick what's going to be going on in Vegas. So on day 1, March 6th, that would be a Wednesday. I know, but get to Vegas. Top Golf. Great social time with food, drinks, and all that good stuff. If you haven't been to the Top Golf deal, that was a good time. I don't hit the little round ball, but I'll hang out with everybody. I have a good time. Second day, March 7th, will be a full day of fun with the VIPs. We're going to be, I don't think that all of it has been put on the website yet. We're going to go and do some cool Vegas stuff around and hang out, have fun, and do some activities. All your meals are included that day also. Day 3, Friday, March 8th, is going to be the seminar. So that's going to be the PulseChain Pitch Fest. So here, the PulseChain Foundation that Marlon has put together is going to be doing a pitch fest, meaning those people that want to put their projects on PulseChain can get up on stage, pitch their wares. The winner of that is going to be getting a grant from the PulseChain Foundation from Marlon Williams. So very cool. We're going to have a bunch of speakers there. Myself, DCC, Cultivate Crypto, PulseChain Foundation. They'll be doing an AMA also. Then we're going to have Matty Allen. He's going to be there. Everybody loves Matty and his conference, online conference that he did for Hex. World record holders, by the way. Crypto Coffee is going to be there. My good buddy coming from Puerto Rico, come hang out with us in Vegas. RH Max, gotta listen to RH Max. He knows he's got his finger on the pulse of all of this. And also SJ will be there, and Kaylin Black Hexagon will be there. So you don't want to miss them. So that'll be the VIP dinner will be afterwards. Then after party at a private venue called Club Atmosphere. So the whole crypto community is going to go there and hang out at Club Atmosphere. And we will have a damn good Las Vegas time. So get to that. Don't forget February 17th. If you go to PulseChainTour.com, is going to be the Houston, Texas event. That's going to be a real estate meets crypto deal, crypto seminar / real estate deal. Like I said, SJ is going to be there. And she says, should I read it verbatim here? What you put in the deal? Huh? So there's only 15 days left to book the discounted hotel tickets for Vegas. So by February 2nd, you have to have your room booked so that we can get the block discount rates for you. So if you want that, please get in there, go to PulseChainTour.com and get your ticket set up. Also back to the Houston event, Danny the singer is going to be doing a VIP day, and we'll be hanging out with him in Houston. But I think I did a great job there, didn't I? That's what it says here. Great job. I'm not used to having a handler actually like helping me during the show. This is very, very cool. It's really, really pro. I'm starting to feel like a big shot. But let me bring myself back down to earth because I got somebody who is a big shot here. So the gentleman that I'm going to bring on, didn't know much about him, to be honest. I heard his name, saw him. I'm like, oh, look at this flashy guy, man. He's got cars and he's got that freaking Hollywood look and everything. He's got it going on. Oh, wait, man. He's in Germany. Wait. And then I talked to him for a minute. And I'm like, oh shit, this guy's one of us. This guy's a Hexagon, dyed in the wool, wants to go out and make the world a better place and doing it through us. And he's already like filling up rooms, and he can help us put stadiums together, I'm sure. All right, everybody, without any more chitter chatter, I'm going to bring up my man, Dean the Machine. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on? You crack me up. You crack me up. I gotta laugh. That's an intro, all right, but I gotta be humble. You're the star here. You're bringing people together, Captain. And I just got to say, before I even say anything, for the people watching over here, for the people following you,
thank you.
It's awesome what you do. I snuck into the chat, I think like a week ago or something. I was quickly online with y'all when you were chatting around or the F and Hangout. And it's one thing that I've learned. I just want to give gratitude. I got to tell people sometimes what good job they do, because there's a lot of people that just don't hear it enough. And sometimes people get a little bit unmotivated by that, and then they just stop doing. I was like, keep doing what you're doing. You're fucking awesome.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I really do. It's a thankless job sometimes, but it makes it all worth it when people like you actually recognize it and say things. So thank 100%. you. And the work you're doing, I mean, you're filling up rooms, man. I saw some of your videos there, and you guys are doing some good work in Germany, and now you're here in LA, right?
Yes, I live in Hollywood. My business partner is in Beverly Hills, and we go back and forth with the studio and everything like that. I'll tell you all about that if you want to hear more. It's like you said, like it's sometimes a thankless job, but you know what's rewarding? That one person, when you get that email, when you get that text message, a random person from the middle of nowhere, and when they write you something, it's from the heart. And I can't change the world. I can't change all people or help all people, but changing or helping one person at a time, we're on the right track. Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. And it started not too long ago, to be honest. I was a whole lot more selfish. If you would have talked to me like about 10, 15 years ago, it was a whole different kind of me. I don't think it's bad, because I learned, I gained certain particular life experience, let's say. And at a certain point, it's like, well, what is it all worth it? When you, let's say it like this, when you have it all, but you have got nobody to share with, to me, you're poor. And I love sharing knowledge. I love sharing success. I love sharing experiences, because in German we say, this is one of our quotes basically, with our crypto machine crew. I'll explain you why and how that came about. It's more fun together. And after the first event that we had, it was literally immediately sold out, 150 people. If we would have had a room available for 300 people, we would have filled it. This is absolutely not to brag. We were shocked ourselves how quickly all this came about, but it's all a community effort. I have nothing really to do with that, or my business partner. We're just kind of, how should I explain it? I feel it's similar to you. We're providing some kind of tool. It's like, we got the balls, we got the kind of like reckless ideas of like putting something together and just be like, fuck it, why not do it? And suddenly people see this and they need that little kind of jump sometimes, right? And they're like, yes, this is exactly the right thing that we need to do, to share and to build community, to stick together. Because like I said, again, one finger, you push it against the wall, it crunches. But you have a fist or more, you go through that wall. And through that wall, all of us, hexagons, people in crypto overall, can go through that wall together. And that is, let me tell you, it is satisfying to suddenly see everyone get together again, because I think you know as much as I do, the whole crypto vibe. It's tickling again. People are getting excited again. There were a whole bunch of people that were giving me, Captain, I don't know if you got a lot of shit the last couple of years when it was a little bit of that bear market time. I was there every single Friday with my buddy going live. We got cursed out. We got called out in different chats groups. I got links and everything like that. But to tell you the truth, even those guys that seem to know it better, that seem to be able to take the right away to bash us, I still wish them all the best. I still wish for them that they kept a little bit of their bags in some kind of way, that they're going to see that change happen. Why? Because at a certain point, it will make click. It will make click, and they're going to be able to help someone else. And that's what it's all about eventually.
Yeah. The bear market was brutal. You know, I've been through bear markets before,
Right.
but I've never been in a bear market where I was the guy that was telling everybody to get in during the bull market, and that the narrative changes. You know, it's one thing to get your bags wrecked by the bear market. It's another thing to have everybody coming at you because they're upset that it went down, you know, or they got it at the top or whatever it is, you know. Yeah. So it wasn't tougher than becoming a streamer during, you know, the beginning of Hex, but it was brutal, and it was brutal taking it from our own community. It was brutal, you know, being out there on the PulseChain tour every day, touring, you know, working for people, trying to make it a better place, you know, streaming in between, and then still getting complaints. But like you said, I don't fault those people, and I want them to do well. And that's all I've ever wanted, was for everybody to do well in this, because we got our hands on something, and you just mentioned it. It's more than just crypto. There's a community that's involved here, and the community is the one who's bringing awareness to the world. And the masses of people, the 90% of us out there, we need this. We need help. We need a better way. We need a hand up, you know, not a hand out, but a hand up. And crypto is that thing that can actually give the people of the world a hand up, you know, and that's what I wanted to be part of, because like you said, it's no fun. Like I could walk off into the sunset now. It's over with for me, as far as the money thing being over, but I'm not done. I want other people to have the same experience. I want people that are in my situation, you know, where I was at before this, to be able to get a hold of this. So yeah, I 100% get what you're saying, and I'm on the same page. So yes, liking what you're saying, my man.
I want to give you a little bit of a background, how it kind of came about, if you want to know a little bit more of this crazy crypto machine crew. I even see a couple of guys. They're up late at night in Germany right now. It has to be like 3 a.m. or something like that, 4 a.m. maybe. So. It's hilarious. And we chatted for a second before, but and I don't want to get too much into that side of it unless you want me to elaborate. But I guess the last couple of years have been a little bit wild for everyone in the whole world, right? And no matter what anyone's opinion is, people had a tough time. If that was emotionally, mentally, physically, perhaps as well. Some people at a certain point couldn't continue their business anymore. They wanted to. They couldn't continue their jobs anymore. They wanted to. There was a lot of restrictions. But I think one of the biggest or most painful things for the people were the kind of breaking of being social, the kind of break of community, of a sense of community. And I'll try to make it a little bit quicker. I have a friend, business partner that we do this live stream with, and he has a little bit of a bigger following in Germany. He's a former DJ. Club owner and hospitality, etc. So naturally, there was a little bit of a following there already. People knew of him. And at a certain point, when you're passionate, when you're just a person that has some sort of fire inside, and we were having a good time in California, man. We were grilling up steaks. We had a lockdown. We built a gym over here. The gym was closed 3 days later. We had everything set. All good. But call that like, oh, look at them. Like they're being spoiled. We're making Instagram stories, kind of like, poking the other person, but maybe it's not the right thing to do. But on the other hand, we knew we got to do something different. So at a certain point, it's like, you know what? Let's freaking start a live stream. Let's start talking to people, because people from Germany were writing him, hey, I don't know how to continue this. Like, you guys are having such a good time or such a good life in California. And I was like, no, it's not like that. But we try to make the best out of every situation. I'm overall a very positive person. It's something I had to learn. But out of every whatever situation, you can come out with some kind of positive mindset. And eventually, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how, no matter what. So we started this live stream, and holy shit, Captain. People were grateful. We're just talking about our stories, what we think, what we feel. People were writing in the live stream, in the chat, about their experiences. And it was kind of like calming people down in a sense and letting them know that they're not alone. That is probably one of the most important things for people to know, that nobody is alone. You should not be afraid to ask for help. I can say, I don't know in your situations, but I did not get to this point without help from others. Was my ego in the way and I didn't want help, or I said no, but then I got help anyways? In some kind of form, there was always someone that pushed me in the right way or the wrong direction, but it helped me get further. So when people felt that I have goosebumps right now, because I remember one particular point exactly. People were grateful. And this is not like, oh, we're some messiah or some like, oh, great, you guys are doing so good for the world. Nuh-uh. Because it was really difficult, especially when at a certain point you have people writing you about suicide. That's when shit gets a little bit more serious. And me, in my life, I've experienced a bunch of shit, but that I have not yet. And I did not know, I'm not qualified and with some kind of licensing, whatever it is. Like, yes, I coach people, life strategist, etc. That aside, but I am not experienced in that kind of way. And we just started a conversation. This person writes to me still today, and there's many more people that are writing that are like, hey, we're thankful that you guys were there back then. And that is the point where we decided, all right, we're never going to stop this. We can be that sponge that takes up energy, information, negative thoughts from others, and try to just take everything in, because people want to be heard. When you have a conversation, someone's bothering something, people just want to be heard. And it doesn't matter if you say a lot back, if you're a reactive person or not, but a lot of folks are missing others to just listen. And this is the day and age of social media that I feel that kind of like also goes apart. Back in the day, we were talking to uncles, friends, nephews, etc. Right now in California, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against it, but every other person has a therapist. I'm like, yeah, but what about your friends? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, well, let's just try to bring that back. Have your friends talk to you. These are the people that are maybe family, close to you, etc. That's another conversation. So anyways, this was all great and stuff. So what do we continue talking about? Freedom, opportunity, community. That's where crypto comes in. And we introduced it at a certain point, and Captain, we got a lot of shit for that too. Oh God, here they come. They sell us something again. They want to sell us something. Here come the codes, and here come the marketing tricks and everything like that. They drew us in and that kind of thing. MLM, pyramid scheme, Ponzi, anything you want to call it. No. We paid for our studio. We built it out. We don't want anything from anyone. We do it for free and we love it. So at a certain point, and these are actual true stories, I hope maybe someone comes in here. He's a good friend of ours right now, and he's fully into PulseChain, let me tell you. He's got stakes, he's got all different products on PulseChain, etc. But the first day, we even invited him live one time. He's like, oh God, here they come. But I'll listen to it. And he started thinking, he started doing his own research. From first being so judgmental to now being basically, he's like, well, I retired, I sold my business, etc. This is the only thing that I'm going to do. And I'm also going to give back. I'm going to start a, what do you call that? Like when you have like a ranch for dogs that he's going to like adopt from Romania, street dogs, etc. And it's just those things. Everyone has their own kind of thing. And I'm like, well, this is because of you, Captain. This is good. People like you, because without you, I wouldn't know all of this. I've probably seen you before at a certain point in some stream. I was like, there's this guy with a Captain, and then like, this is cool. This is crazy. This is great, because Hex came around as well. I was in Bitcoin, Ethereum, all this kind of stuff. Made money is great. I love it, etc. But it was very hard to get people into Hex, PulseChain, etc. That's why we try to just take it a little easier. And we're not like big, like Hex logo. We became the Crypto Machine Crew because you just had to educate people that there's something out there that is digital money, let's call it, to make it easy. Like I'm trying to do a direct translation, because in Germany, you had to pay money to have it in your bank. I remember this from my dad. My dad was saying, hey, I had to split a couple bank accounts because it was costing me money to keep my money in my savings. What kind of crazy shit is that? You start that in the US, you're going to have a civil war, let me tell you. But in Europe, it's already so far ahead that people are being walked over. People are, excuse me, but there's unfortunately a few too many sheep, or people are just like, well, that's the way it is, and so be it. I was like, this is not so be it. You're not getting thought about accounting in school. You're not getting thought about the future of money. You're not getting thought about the gold standard, how it's not around anymore. And your money is basically just paper that you can wipe your ass with. Like this napkin over here is very similar to the euro or the dollar, like just because we give it value. And so these are the conversations. And at a certain point, this grew. They asked me, can you start a Telegram channel? All right, so people can help each other. I don't have the time to go with everyone. But at a certain point, this became a you got to help me. Sometimes my vocabulary is missing, but a self-sustaining community where we have a website. It got created by a guy in Dubai, German guy that said, like, you know what? Germany is fucked up. I have the means. I'm going to go over there. It's super crypto friendly. I'm going to introduce Hex and I'm going to make a website for you guys. These are things 5 years ago. If you would have told me this, I could have not even imagined. But I'm proud to be here with you chatting about this. And what about the next 5 years?
Yeah, that's what we're setting up for now, the next 5 years. And speak to a couple of things. First of all, the LA thing. I'm born and raised Southern California. Lived in Hollywood. I live right behind Pink's hot dog stand on Melrose and La Brea.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that's where I go to the gym. There's a private gym, of course.
Yeah, I used to go to Gold's right about 3-4 blocks.
Cole, yeah, of course. That's funny.
Yeah, that's where all the freaking the stars and actors and everybody. But I lived out there for a while. Now here's a problem with LA. Problem with LA is that nobody there is from LA. Everybody's from somewhere else around the world, the country. Everybody who who has an inkling of Hollywood and what it's all about and wants to be part of it comes there. So we have lots and lots of waiters and waitresses that live in LA, and trying to be aspiring actors and actresses is what I say. And so a lot of them, so the LA is so depressing because a lot of them are alone. They're away from their families. They're out in this place that they thought was going to be this magical land. And I'm telling you right now, Hollywood is a freaking cesspool. It is an absolute garbage pit. It's the worst of California. It is just now. Is there magic that happens there? Yes, there's magic that happens there. Yes, there's opportunity there. Yes, there are some things that, you know, if you've been there long enough, you can find some good places to be and go and good people around. And there are plenty of good people around. But for the most part, you've got a lot of lonely, sad people who've trying to make their way. And most people end up going back home with their tails between their legs because it's not easy to survive out here. Yes. So it's a very difficult place to try and survive. So just letting everybody know out there before you come to LA, think about it real hard because it is not, it is going to come and kick your ass. And you better have some tough skin to go live in that place.
It eats you up, spits you out, sets you on fire, steps on you, and then all over again.
Home.
And then the truck still hits you in the face.
Exactly. But that said, it also produces some really good people that do make it through it, that do see what's going on out there. And I can see it in you that you want to help others and you want to be part of the solution versus part of all of the problems that are out there, you know, and including, dipping into psychologists and drugs and all this other stuff. It's like, why don't we just dip into each other and start talking and helping one another and becoming a little more friendly, more helpful toward one another. I've been noticing this, you know, I grew up in a different era than a lot of people around here. You know, I grew up in the 70s and I was a kid then, and we didn't have social media and computers.
Much better.
Much
better. And less toxic.
It was, there weren't all of the opportunities that are available. People are smarter today as far as intellectually, because of all of the information that's at their fingertips. Like, my goodness. I mean, you can find more information in one day on YouTube and Google than I did my whole childhood until I went into the Marine Corps at, 18 years old. Wow. So it was just, it's just amazing what we have, but it's also disassociated us from being social human beings. And we say and do things to each other online that we just wouldn't do to each other in person. And I've been noticing this phenomenon lately. And it's been very confusing to me because I've never really had to deal with this before. Like when I meet people, it's like there's a cordial meeting and we shake a hand, a hug, a high five, whatever it is, have conversations. If we don't like each other or whatever, we kind of feel that out right away, kind of back off or whatever. But here it's like people just come at you sideways and blindside you and start, talking about your mother and you're this and you're that. And before you know it, it's like, whoa, where's all this coming from? Like, this isn't how human beings really interact with each other. So it's turned very toxic. And I'm noticing a lot in this community, in this bear market, that we're seeing a lot of this stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I want people to come together and be better because we've got a job to do. You know, we've got to go out and take this message to the world. And it's about freedom.
Captain, it's very tough. It's very tough. I mean, I really love that you actually talked about LA like this because a lot of people don't even have the balls to say that about it. Like, I mean, I've gone through that. I am in the entertainment industry and I don't want anything to do with it as far as the negative side of it. That toxic side, forget it, far away. But I get judged because I'm not trying to play the game. Are you fucking kidding me? Hell no. Man. Hell no. But people are so desperate that they're like, yeah, but I want to be part of it. Please, I'll do whatever you say. And I mean, we can get into some really weird shit, but people have become, this is kind of like, it maybe flows with a couple of things that you were saying. People have gotten a little too comfortable. They've gotten weak and too comfortable. And what I mean by that is They're too comfortable being keyboard warriors, writing to a complete strangers about their mother and their family and all this kind of stuff that, like you said, they would never say in person. Now, they're also a little too comfortable sitting on their lazy ass on the couch, just watching Netflix and not trying to hustle, starting a business or anything like that. That is, I believe, part of that whole Black Mirror phenomenon, that whole social media phenomenon, because everything is at your fingertips. You don't have to leave your house for anything anymore. It's like back in the day in Roman times, give people entertainment and food and everyone is going to be happy. You suppress them. And people are being suppressed now every single day with their Instagram, with their Twitter, with their Netflix, with their DoorDash, Uber Eats, and everything in between, that people don't need to leave their four walls anymore. And finding some new friends that are showing some booty or tits or anything, you can get that for free too on OnlyFans for $3 a month. So what else do you need?
What
What
else
else
do you
do
need?
people need?
And now
This is-
AI is coming. It's going to even
yeah,
get
exactly,
better.
exactly. You can make your fantasy of, you know, like 2 heads, 3 tits, whatever you want. You know? No, but you know, jokes aside, everything that has its pros has its cons, and everything that has its cons and this whole negative vibe about it also has its pros.
Mhm.
Look at us. Look at us, all these people over here on the side chatting live, probably from, I don't know where half of these people are from. You and I met. I've been here 17 years. I met a kick-ass dude. And where are you at right now? OC or something, no? Are you in
I'm
OC?
on it.
Yeah.
OC Riverside border area there. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, exactly. I mean, this is freaking fantastic. So also this technology of streaming, podcasting, Twitter, Instagram has also brought the good together. And eventually, this is what I always believe in, I always will believe in, and this is, to me, this is fact. You won't be able to change my mind. The good always wins. It doesn't matter what road we have to take, what journey we got to go to, but there's always going to be a lot more good people than the bad ones, because the bad ones don't have, I don't know, they don't have the thoroughness. You know, hope dies last. And to me, hope never dies. So you're always going to have someone with a tiny little flame, and it just takes one little spark to just set everything on fire and go for it. We're an army. We're an absolute phenomenal army. And look at my side. You never heard of me before, but I'm creating this little army in Germany, trying to tell them about Hex, about the Captain, about SJ, about everyone, about the PulseChain tour, etc. And step by step, everyone's doing their part. And it's what someone's saying over there, crypto truth. Keep it real.
Mhm.
Keep it real. And that is something that a lot of people forgot, because a lot of people are scared.
Yeah. And I've been in this space. Well, literally, we started this space 6 years ago. And, we started streaming, bringing the community together, bringing the community on the stream, and getting to know each other and get to know the good people and the bad ones. And I've seen the bad ones, like you said, they've come and they've gone. They've come and they've gone. They've come and they've gone. They've come. They've flooded. They've tried everything they could. We've had everything from bad crypto projects to bad people trying to put events together to bad people, trying to stream and flood people's bags. We've had people reporting us to the SEC. We've had all kinds of people. And like you said, they end up going away. They end up going away because they can't fight the truth. They can't fight what's real. They can't fight hope. They can't fight people like us that there's no way that some guy on a keyboard is going to FUD me out of doing what I'm doing, because like you said, I've had that suicide note person send me that letter and say, if it wasn't for all of you guys and Hex and Richard and what you guys did, man, I would have put that gun in my mouth. And it was like, whoa, man, we can't stop doing this. If that's how important it is, we could have 1,000 assholes out there. And if we saved one person, like you said earlier in the show, that's what counts. That's what matters. It was worth going through every single asshole out there to help that one person.
Yep.
And that's what we're here for. That's what the community's here for. And I get to go out and meet people all the time on the PulseChain tour. And, I get people coming to me, thanks RG, thanks for this. Thanks for, you said this on stream one time, or you did this for me one time. And it's all worth it at that point, and again, to whom much is given, much is expected. And I like giving back.
How is it for you with jealousy? Do do you also think it comes from a lot of haters from a place of envy, jealousy? Let's forget even, or let's put the financial or economical side a little bit away from that. Do you think that's also like a big factor where there's people who would rather want to be in your place? Because obviously we have to talk about this for a second. You've been extremely successful in what you've been doing, highest of stakes. I've watched you. You talk well, dude. You're great. And don't you think like some people are like, well, what the captain can do, I can do that too. And have you experienced people like on stream like that in some kind of form, or how's that for you?
So who's interviewing who? But no,
just ask. We're going to do this.
No,
on my
and it's
side
a
from
great
the German people. From the German people.
It's a great question, and the tour. It looks like we are going to be going through Germany, so I'm sure I'll be stopping in Germany. I'll be backpacking at that point, but I'll probably stop in Germany somewhere, and we'll get something going. But you know, I love all the Hexicans. Every single one of them, from the rudest of the rude that have been horrible to me to all of them. I think there's value in every single human being out there. You just got to dig it out, and they just got to sit down with me for a minute and let me dig it out of them. You know, I can get along with everyone. You know, we agree on about 90% of our shit. There's about 10% that we can disagree on, you know, politics, sports, religion, that kind of stuff. You know, we can disagree on that stuff and just say, okay, well, let's just focus on the stuff that we do agree upon. Let's be good human beings together like that. And I think that people, sometimes they'll see things like that they don't have, and that maybe they want. And then they're not wrong or jealous. I don't like using that word. I just think they're inaccurate in their reaction. Instead of reaching out to help or be part of, they would rather try to destroy, make you look bad so that they will feel good. And that's just an immature reaction to that feeling that we have. And you can call it jealousy or whatever, but it's just a reaction. And sometimes we don't even realize we're doing it. And some people they never grow out of it, and they just don't understand, and they need to read a few good books or something and get themselves straight. But I'm here to help everyone. I'm not here to be better than. You know, somebody came to me and said, hey, would you guys be interested in making a movie? I didn't try and front run everybody and make a movie before everybody and say, hey, look at what I did. We said, yeah, if that's what you guys do, we're here to help. Let's produce this movie. And we did. You know, and hey, RG, we went through the whole community. We want you to be in the movie. Will you be in the movie?
Dope.
Sure, cool. I'll be in the movie. And, you know, and then along the way, because I listened to Richard early on, you know, 6 years ago, I was listening to Richard. I was smart enough. I didn't get lucky. I was smart enough to know that Richard knew what he was talking about. I was smart enough to know that if Richard came out with something, that it was probably going to be good. When it did come out, I liked what he came out with fluid dynamic token first. And we were like, what the hell is this? You know, what is this quantum computing fluid dynamic? I didn't understand it. It was like over my head. I was almost like, maybe this isn't for me. I don't know. But then he came out with Hex. And he said it's a blockchain CD, and it just boom made sense. It's like $7 trillion marketplace in the world. CDs, crypto CD, totally immutable code, totally decentralized finance. I was like, that's what we need, decentralized finance. So I got involved. So all of my success has been because I've asserted myself, because I've gotten involved, and I networked, and I brought smarter people into my camp. Crypto Coffee. You know,
Kick-ass guy.
Kinetics.
I mean,
all these guys, I brought them in to teach me, and they did. And we fed off of each other, and we taught each other, and we made our way with each other here, you know, as far as, you know, building the channels and building the community and helping to be part of. And, you know, so we deserve it. And if people want it, it's here for them. My DMs are open. Reach out to me. I will help you start a channel. I will help you become part of whatever it is you want to. You want to make a movie? I'll help you make a movie. Yeah. You know, you want to promote something here? I'll help you promote something. I'm all down for the community, you know, and and versus people being jealous and angry and trying to hurt things or damage things or bring people down to make themselves look better, they need to reach out and ask for a hand up, not a handout.
Yeah, I love it. It's perfect. It's what you said about people can DM you and ask for help, how to start a channel, etc. That is sometimes what I'm trying to push. So we have in our little community, we have a sub community, and they're kick-ass guys. I think they're just like 7 or 8 dudes. They call themselves the Crypto Cowboys. They get together, I think, every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks and stuff. You got to have them in one time, like as a quick guest kind of thing. I don't know if they all speak. This is in Germany. I mean, they're gonna expect you to have a beer with them once you go through Germany and stuff and get near Stuttgart. I make sure that they're gonna meet up with you and stuff and take you out for a nice a beer.
That's where we're planning on stopping is Stuttgart.
And that's where I'm thinking. Stuttgart. I mean, we'll talk about all of that and stuff like that. 100%, it's going to be a good one for y'all, because I know a big part of the community is there from there, and that's where we had our event and stuff. So without a question, it's going to be good. But I mean, these guys, they get together, they have a steak every 3 or 4 weeks together, and they're chatting about maybe not only Hex, a couple things that are like related or unrelated and stuff. It's like, you guys are free to do whatever you want, but within our kind of realm, we just try to like help people with things that we see that is going to have a very bright future, which already has a bright future. It's fantastic in that short time that we've been there. But Captain, it's like, it's tough sometimes, because a lot of people, when I talk on a daily basis, when I say crypto and then I say Hex, people are just like, what the fuck? But I say Bitcoin, people are like, oh yeah, it's down again a little bit right now. I was like, well, not really. It's up a couple thousand X, and you know, Hex in a way as well. But people don't like to see that. We're gonna have people jump in. I believe this, and it's fine. That's just the way the world works. Once we're gonna have another 10 or 20X and stuff, suddenly the FOMO kicks in. FOMO is a phenomenon that I was part of years ago. At a certain point, I almost feel embarrassed to say it. It's whatever. It made me money. I had Litecoin, and then I FOMO'd in for a second and I jumped out. Like, it's just one of those things. Please,
before Charlie dumped on your head.
But exactly. Yeah. No, he dumped, but I got out in time. I had a ton of them. I just liked it. I was like, I just like LTC more than BTC. I just like the ticker symbol more. I can't explain it, but anyways, it was just one of those things. And then, yeah, I bumped into, or I heard about Richard Hart at a certain point from a guy who owns a bodybuilding shop. From my buddy, the first thing I saw was scam online. And I told my buddy, scam, but obviously I'm nosy. And just because of my curiosity, I had to research. Who the fuck is this Richard Hart guy? What is this? Who's this crazy weasel? Right? I like to say crazy shit. Why? Because he was different than others. And it caught my attention. It caught my attention because I don't like the average. I don't like the usual. The usual just flies by, grab my attention. That grabbed my attention. I start listening. Not all the streams, not all the self-help videos, but some parts, yes, absolutely. And you know, I made up my opinion in the early days. Then it changed. Then I saw the outrage marketing, and I was like, perfect, because I like polarizing figures. A lot of people won't agree, but when I don't care if people like them. That's a different story. People like, or maybe judge me when I say certain names, but when we have Logan Paul, Conor McGregor, Donald Trump, and co., these are all polarizing figures. Their publicity is intense in a positive way and a negative way, but they're all talking about him, and that's what you want. And that is, I think, a Richard Hart as well. And I do believe that he's a fascinating guy. I think he's overall a humble guy, but yes, he needs that. And I don't want to say it in a negative way. He mentioned it many times. He's there for glory. There's a certain kind of like part probably where it's like, maybe it is the success together is more fun. Is it a little kind of part of the ego that he needs to just an itch that he needs to get scratched from his past time? I believe so. Again, not in a negative way. There's always something missing. There's always a little block in our past that is unfulfilled. And I do believe he gets a kick out of it, when it was the get together in London with everyone. And he's, so to speak, the star of the show. Listen, I celebrated myself when I was in Stuttgart for the first 2 minutes. I walked out there, everyone's happy, but I was like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. I gained a room of new friends. That's how I saw it. They're not fans. These are friends. And at a certain point, friends can become family. With some, I'm a little closer. With some, not so much. Because at a certain point, it's just too many people. But I believe the same thing is happening or has happened to a Richard Hart. And he's at a whole different kind of like level, let's call it. But yeah, do I think that he's rubbing the right people sometimes the wrong way? I saw him in his spaces with Elon Musk and Kim.com. I know of Kim.com. And I know about his endeavors in Monaco, how he was a good guy or a bad guy. And his ego got rubbed the wrong way by Richard Hart because Richard Hart was talking straight truth. And a lot of people don't like to hear that. And that is also one more thing in this world. Unfortunately, people don't like to hear the truth because the truth stings.
Well, here's what I think has happened in crypto is that we've got thousands and thousands of these cryptos now.
Yep.
99% of them are garbage. So really all they have is Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's really all they have.
Yeah.
They didn't look at Hex because they won't look at Hex because they just assume, most of them assume that it's just another scam, and they're all in their right minds to do so because the whole space is full of scams and bullshit. And when you see Richard, sure, easy to say, I don't even have to look any further. This guy here is a scammer. And that's what happened. But I think that they understand and they're so angry about Richard is the one who exposed, I didn't know before Richard was speaking 6 years ago that Bitcoin had all these bugs.
Yeah.
I started looking it up and I'm like, my God, I read the whole thing.
He's right. He's the only one who called shit out.
And nobody has exposed any of this. We all know that they can't build anything on it. We all know they're afraid to open up the code. We all know that every time they try and build something on it, it's worthless. It doesn't work. It's going to be the next greatest thing, but it doesn't work. And the halvening is the only thing that pumps it back up again. Yep. All these other things, Bitcoin is garbage when it comes to crypto technology. It is.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I still have discussions with community members at times online about this. They're like, well, what does Hex do in Bitcoin? They're in Hex and they're in PulseChain, but I'm like, this never ends until Hex just outperforms everything again like it did before.
Yes. And that's why we're calling our next tour Better Than Bitcoin. Hex is better than Bitcoin. And we've got to get that message across. And they don't like it, especially the big Bitcoin bag holders. And they've got all their minions behind them because they're trying to preserve crypto through Bitcoin. And we as Hexagons know that the only way you're really going to preserve crypto is through DeFi, through decentralized finance. Get away from all that centralized garbage, get away from the old dilapidated ancient technology of Bitcoin and move forward. And let's get into DeFi and let's try and improve this space. Rally the troops. And I'm starting to feel like, you know what? Screw crypto and the crypto bros, and let's just go find us new people. Let's go educate the world. Let's find new people. There's only 3% of the world in crypto anyway. We can do that in a matter of a couple of years. There's plenty of people out there. All these crypto people are wrecked anyway. So let's go ahead and just find new, like-minded, open-minded people who want to learn about DeFi, and let's bring them in and forget all the rest of the noise in crypto. They'll come eventually, but we need to go and open up new avenues and have new conversations with more people.
I was speaking today with a friend acquaintance. He said this. I've said this before. It's too risky not being in crypto. He's like, well, people are crazy. Whatever people think in LA or California versus, Florida is a little bit more open-minded crypto, or Dubai, whatever. It's like, no, it's too risky not to look at it. And I find that a very strong statement, but people still will overlook that because you're going to have people listen, when my grandma has an iPad, she's 90 years old. And when she knows that there's something like digital money out there, you better get your ass looking into crypto. I don't care if it's Bitcoin for starters or anything like that. Learn, yeah, and then get better, and then read about Hex.
Yep. Yeah. So that's the message. That's what we should be going out there and doing is talking about how good DeFi is and how it can change the world. And you know, I'm glad that we're and I had hoped for this early on. You know, at first when we started streaming, we had, you know, there was 3 or 4 of us. There was about the same amount of people online watching as was on the stream. And that's really how it started. And then it started to grow and morph and get bigger and bigger. And we can continue to do that. We can continue to do that. And what I said back then was, we're going to have people that are going to be better than we are. We're going to get better streamers. We're going to get, you know, people that make this go viral are going to come. I don't know where that viral moment's going to happen or how it's going to happen, but somebody is going to come in and stream and their grandmother's going to see it. And the next door neighbor is going to be the one person that blows this thing out of the water, you know, and it's out of nowhere, you know, it's going to happen.
And it's inevitable. I believe it's inevitable. And I love to, I will keep bringing this up. I love to try to keep bringing your content to, you know, the German community, because we can only do so much. But, you know, I'm also trying to figure out a way to bring this to the Dutch community, because I'm originally from the Netherlands. And even though I speak German, it's a bigger country. So, you know, get more folks in there. We have a little start, but you just got to keep going, because there's still so much untapped potential of people that are, you know, curious, that are willing to look into it. And obviously, like, I can't deny it, you know, the more people get into it, the better it might be for price, but it is also safer for people eventually, because, you know, it's always the same thing. DeFi is important. You don't get it taught in schools nowadays. We didn't get it taught back in the day in some kind of class or by some kind of professor. We had to learn actually the important shit outside of school. I had, you know, I came to the US at a young age. I didn't get taught anything. I had to learn all this kind of stuff by myself. And what I got taught in school was worthless. And I'm not saying for people to skip colleges or anything like that. But, you know, if we think about the great Steve Jobs of the world and all, they, you know, got out at a certain point. I mean, Elon Musk went to Wharton Business School, the best business school in the world. So maybe he got a couple friends over there and got a good plan going, but that's a different story. But, you know, I don't know where that point is going to be of virality, but it's going to happen. Is it going to mean that we're going to have to get a complete civil war, crypto crash, economic crash, and then at a certain point, the only thing standing is actually DeFi? Then so be it. I'm ready for it. I'm open for something like that. So people will finally wake up and see that the misfits, us in the world, we're not wrong. We just had the balls to look the other way. When 100 million people are going to the left, and I say, well, I think you're wrong, I'll be the only one standing to the right. Eventually, they'll all follow us anyways, because they see what's right or what's wrong. And we're getting pushed some sort of narrative by media. And I don't want to get too much, you know, into all that kind of stuff, up to you. But I do think we get pushed something where it's like, you know, you hear the news and you hear all these senators and they're like, oh, criminals and crypto and 900,000 got used. I was like, hold on a second. Do you remember Deutsche Bank? Or do you remember the
real criminals?
Exactly. 900 million of fraud and criminal monies and everything like that. And wait, Captain, you know what happens? Well, they got to pay
sweep it under the rug.
Exactly. Just a fee.
Oh, nothing to see here, folks. It's okay. Nothing to see here.
Like a ticket. But
like, yeah.
But Richard
like
Hart,
if you and I would have done that in crypto, you and I'd be under the jail.
Exactly.
For good. We'd be, me, you, and Ross would be talking about, hey, will you guys let us out someday?
Yeah, but exactly. But that's why there is always those few folks in the world, visionary. Someone just wrote it over here. I agree. Richard Hart is some sort of visionary. And suddenly everyone found that kind of like strength again when he was like with Quinn Emanuel and co 11 of his whole team of lawyers. Suddenly, boom. F you, SEC. Do you think they're going to even bother if they wouldn't have a thought that they're going to win this thing, it's going to be a long battle and it's going to be dragged out. I'm in a lawsuit with something right now, and it got dragged out already for the last 3 years. It's costing a fortune. It's going nowhere. I love this country, but that is the part that's fucked up. Let me tell you. But
there's a
look,
lot of things that are fucked up here. Believe me. I mean, I love it. Like what you said earlier, you know, I love this country. I don't want to go anywhere. You know, I was a Marine. I'm half Native American.
I love it. Thank you for your service. It's awesome. I have good friends in the Marines.
Yeah, so I love this country. I love this place. I love this land. There are things that I want to change, but I'm not going to change them by eating shit and barking at the moon and yelling and screaming on Twitter all day. I got to go out there and do something. You know, I'm of a certain age, and I don't have much time left on this planet to get the things done that I want to do. But I want to see some change. I want to see some change. And I want to go back to something you said earlier, and just have a little rant on something about college. So I have a daughter that's in college now, and she was accepted to a nice college. She's doing her thing. She comes home on the weekends, and you know, and I hear this narrative all the time from people today, you know, about college sucks, the indoctrination camps, and blah blah blah, all this stuff about college, you know, and I have family members that are college professors. I know college professors. I know some real people who teach at these universities, and they're not indoctrinators. They're not, you know, crazy, you know, one political way or another. And and they're just trying to teach. That's their job. It's what they were passionate about doing. They spent a lifetime of, you know, trying to learn how to be educators, and they've spent a lifetime educating. And so I respect the people that I know that are though. Now, I sat my daughter down and I said, tell me a little bit about school and what's going on. Because I never went to college. I wasn't a college guy. And I asked her, I said, tell me about the influences that, you know, maybe some of your professors are. Do you hear? And she said, no. And my kids both also said, you know, oh, you know, Dad, I could learn more on YouTube than I can in college. And I told them this, and it got me I got a little fired up about it with my kids because, you know, I didn't have the opportunity to do so because I was a street kid. I didn't have the option of going to college. It was either streets, jail, or the Marine Corps. And the truant officer and the Marine Corps recruiter gave me that option at one point, is what happened to me. And so I chose the Marine Corps. And what I learned in life later on was that the people that did go to college either went and spent some time there, couple years, got a little degree, didn't get a degree, whatever. They had a different leg in life. They had a different way of speaking. They had a different way of understanding education. They had a different way of understanding things than I did. And the guys that I was around, the guys that put on boots in the dark and then took those boots back off in the dark, you know, and came home greasy. You know, it was a different type of human being, all of these people I knew that went to college. And I said, you know, it's not so much the education that they're giving you, the things that they're teaching you. It's the networking experience. It's the different experience than going out and having to dig a ditch for a living. It's academia. It's actually learning something a little more than you knew before. Now, I know that you can go on Google and like I said, and get an education in a day more than you can get probably a semester. But there was something different about the people they had around them, the network that they created. And I couldn't probably put my finger right on it, but I'm telling you right now, college people are different. Now, though, a lot of those people that you mentioned, like Gates and whatnot, they started college. A lot of them, they started going to college. They were that type. And then somehow along the way, like, I mean, look at even Zuckerberg. He stole Facebook in college. He wouldn't have had Facebook if he wasn't in college. So they
exactly
didn't go to college, but he stole it when he was at college. So he networked his way into stealing Facebook.
Look, in a way, the positive college equals the community.
Exactly.
The same thing what we're doing over here too. We have a college, the Marine Corps.
Yeah, people that excelled, you know, and Marines, you know, today I know they're a little more choosy about the people that they pick. But I mean, the Marine Corps was just full of, you know, that was the dregs of society. It was like, hey, we turn these guys into stone cold killers. So let's go. Come on, guys. Well, you know, and that's a little different than your college student and the opportunities that are put before them, you know.
I know this is supposed to be the other way. You're the interviewer, but this is an awesome subject. No, it's a great
Yeah.
topic, and I think a lot of people can and have learned from that, because my buddy is just like you, from the streets, slept in his car, and then became a multimillionaire. And for a lot of people, that's like, oh wow, that's great, you know, and that's everything because they only see numbers. But that's not. He's like, I will never want my kids to go through this. They're going to
No.
go through to college, and they're going to get their scholarship, or they're going to get funded by me or anything, because it's possible. I wouldn't want
Yes.
to do it any other way. But my question to you is this: I mean, to ask you what the solution is, no one has the answer. But don't you think the healthy way, or the correct way, or something that would be beneficial for this young generation would just be a mixture of both? Because I feel there's just too many people and kids that don't understand what hardship is. They don't understand what it is for Captain to be like, fuck, I don't know what I'm going to eat next week. I don't know how the fuck am I going to do this? It's or jail or Marine. You know what I mean? Like what you mentioned. These kids need to sometimes know what it's like. Why? Because only then can you have fire under your ass.
Mhm.
Captain, there's many people that would trade with you right now for your life. They would give everything. I know certain people of that. In
Yeah.
your mind, it's like, well, I wouldn't want anyone to experience that. I'm just hypothetically
Yeah.
kind of like saying, I don't want to say anything wrong.
Yeah. If
But
if I gave people a movie of the first 30 years of my life, they would be like, "Fuck no, I don't care what you're going to give this guy later. I ain't doing that." You know, that's the life I lived. You know, ketchup packets at times to eat for dinner. You know, living under the bridge, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. But what I think the solution is it is different today than it was 5 years, 10 years, 15 years
yeah.
ago. Things have changed. There's a different way of educating.
Mhm.
However, the social aspect of higher education and whatnot, I think, is important for people to, and like your friend's saying, hey, I don't want my kids going in the streets to learn about life. I would rather have them in a network of people who are trying to figure out
Yeah.
life in an intellectual way. And I want them to be critical thinkers and self-thinkers, and don't follow the herd, and don't follow a
Yeah.
professor that you don't think is on the right track or whatever. You know, I don't want them to be influenced by outside things. I just want them to utilize their network and think for themselves. And I would like to teach them, and I have taught my kids how to be entrepreneurs. I told them that, you know,
That's
hey,
awesome.
go out and get an education, be smart, learn things, have a higher education, but use that to go and create a business. I mean, if you do want to work or do something, more power to you. That's fine. Trade your hours for dollars if you want, but there's a better way to do it. And I've showed my kids that entrepreneurialism is the way of the world. That's the way to wealth. That's the way to freedom. That's the way to, self-vindication, I guess. But yeah, there isn't really a solution. The world is a different place. But people wouldn't want to go and do what me and your friend did. You know, it's a great fucking story right now. It's a great fucking story.
Yeah.
But
But it's not
goddamn
for
it, when
sure
I
that
was
you end up
crying on the
this way.
streets because I
Yeah.
was hungry and scared and worried and lonely and wanting to die myself, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I wouldn't want to put anybody in those shoes for not one fucking minute. I wouldn't do that, because people look at my life today and would be like, hell yeah, I want to be like RG. I want to be like RG. Well, no, you don't want to be like RG was or where I've been. You wouldn't want to put those shoes on. So we all have our thing. I wouldn't change anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change anything. I went through what I went through, did what I did, and I'm here where I'm at. Are there things I would have liked to have done differently, like take care of my health a little better? Maybe my back's not as wrecked and all that. Yes. But other than that, I wouldn't change a thing.
I love that. I mean, that is, I think I'm probably going to cut a little piece out of today's stream, and that I think is probably one of the most valuable things that you can succeed. Let's call it both ways. It's just about, there's a couple things that I want to take away from this. It's the critical thinking part.
Yep.
And one of the most important, and that's where I think I look up to you probably the most. You're probably a kick-ass parent. You're a real kick-ass parent.
Probably a
Why?
decent.
Because
Yeah.
it has to do with respect. I think your daughter, they respect you,
Mhm.
right? And you don't just get respect. Respect is something that has to be earned in this world. Because I see it on a daily. Spoiled kids. I mean, you know how LA is. You know, when they get too much and they don't respect their kids and it's just iPad and they talk about Lamborghini and Bugatti and these kids have no idea what work means. They don't know what
Mm.
hustling means. They don't know what hardship means or anything like that. So it's one of these things in this world, and maybe we can say in our communities or anything, it's important to be a strong parent. And I don't like, both sides, whatever is possible. Not every life is granted to have, a mother and a father or vice versa. But I think those are one of those values. And this goes back to very old school kind of thinking, maybe of mine, where it's like, I came to this country. I'm thankful for my parents that they made certain things possible, that they left certain things, compromises, and the rest I had to do myself. I got told back in the day where it's like, oh, mommy, daddy took care of you for that or anything like that. I was like, if you'd only knew. If you'd only knew. No one ever has to know. But I have two half brothers that don't talk to my dad or to me, and I know there's a lot of envy and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, but I didn't get a penny gifted. This is just me, and the sacrifice that some people have to make. And so, did you do that in your journey? But I'm not a parent yet. Hopefully, the time will come that I become one. I only wait for God to decide on that. I'm not like very religious or anything like that. But there's one thing: God has that in his mind if that's going to happen. But it's one of those important factors where I can ramble on about that, but that is a big factor where critical thinking and parenting. So yeah.
Yeah, parenting is definitely been one of the hardest things that I've ever had to feel
Yeah.
feel inadequate at times, feel helpless at times. The fear, being somebody that's never feared anything, out living in the streets, trying not to, show my fear and being a Marine and all those other things,
Mhm.
and then, but when you have that little baby for the first time and like, I couldn't even drive home. I was freaking paralyzed. I was so worried about this kid in the back seat of my car in this carrier, I was like petrified. I almost couldn't drive home. I was scared, like, oh my gosh, crash, whatever. And all that stuff starts to change as you get older, but there's nothing more fulfilling in life than having these kids that I've got. And and that's the reason why I want to make the world a better place, is
Yes.
to, the more and more people we can help, the better we can make this world. Because I mean, I'm not one to say that, oh, today's day and age is so horrible. We've got all this pedophilia and murder and rape, and we've had this stuff forever.
Ever.
There's nothing
Forever.
new under the
It's been
sun.
there. It's just more noticeable now because of the social media and it's readily available.
They want to stick it in your face all the time. And it exists. It's always existed. There's nothing new under the sun. We're not worse off than we ever have. We're still the same human beings, but it would be a lot better if we'd be a lot nicer to each other and quit trying to scare each other so much and get rid of all the fear and get rid of all the lack and get rid of all of the and start bringing abundance and love and care and decency to the internet, so that we can all communicate with each other in a better way versus the way that we have been. Yeah, that's what I want to see.
I'm definitely grateful for all of that, and I try to push it. And obviously, just so you in the community, so as myself, I will try to find new, different ways to, make noise. And not everyone is going to like it. Some people are going to be like frowning upon, perhaps. And those are things where I'll be honest, dude. Like, I'm not always the most confident or happy or anything. I try to be, but sometimes you just got to go through it because you're believing in something better and something good that is going to eventually be better for the other folks, for everyone around us. Some people might frown upon you, and I'm just bringing this back to the outrage marketing. How many people have messaged me like, oh, can you talk to Richard Hart or anything like that? It's like, not everyone's going to like you, but as long as you're making noise, as long as you're continuing to share the message, and that's why I'm excited. I'm also thankful for the PulseChain tour, like this Saturday. We get to see each other and we get to share this. And I think this is it's a top name, because I know that there was some people already in the community that DM'd me. They said, well, Dean, you can't say it's better than Bitcoin. I was like, boom, perfect. You guys already nailed it with the title over there, because you want to cause a little bit of chaos. I like to be a disruptor of sorts. I like to be sometimes a little bit loud when I sometimes make some Instagram stories. I want to poke people. I want to call them out. Why? Only to gain that attention, not for myself, but for the topic, for the better good that we're trying to share. And people are like, oh God, you're such a cocky asshole. Oh, you're so like such a smart ass, or this and that. Listen, dude, like, who cares? Who cares?
Do
Don't
your
think
thing.
about
You do
me.
you.
Listen to what I want to relay, the message that I want to relay. When I'm saying 10 things at the same time, it's the same thing like our orange-haired friend. Fake news, fake news, fake news. At first, I was like, God, this fucking clown. And then I was like, oh shit, news is actually a whole lot of fake nowadays in certain kind of way or form, right? So it's just like, it's the repetitiveness at a certain point that you have to know you're doing this. You have your facts on your side. And if this is with PulseChain or Hex or anything like that, we're for DeFi. DeFi will conquer and win. And it's cooler if everyone hops on the train and everyone's going to have happiness instead of getting wrecked while the train has fucking left the station.
Yeah.
You know?
And then the powers that be that we're all trying to get away from are now usurping that other system. They are right now under our noses every morning. They are buying more and more Bitcoin, more and more Bitcoin, more and more Bitcoin, so that they can take control. They're gonna take these centralized exchanges. They're gonna get them regulated by the SEC, by the government, and they are going to completely take over SoFi crypto. It is going to be owned and fully subsidized by the banks. And you're welcome. You can have it all you want there, Bitcoin bros.
I'm curious, like, are you very familiar with what's going on in Europe as far as like, the economics and all that kind of stuff? Germany, France, like CBDC and everything like that, or?
Vaguely. I don't know how deep that's getting now.
Same shit, different land across the pond, same kind of thing. I just will say it's a little worse. And I do think that people are at the edge of some sort of civil uprising. I mean, I have to mention this. People saw some videos on Twitter coming by about hundreds of thousands of farmers rising up in Germany. They want their freedom. People were taking walks. You can protest for, let's say, what is something trendy that is protesting for? I don't even know right now anymore. Equal rights, let's say, just for the hell of it.
Pronouns. Pronouns. You got to protest for pronouns.
Okay. Oh, dude, you're touching the right guy with pronouns. I got a big knot with all that kind of shit. Like, listen, I'm very. I have a wife. I've been married over 15 years. Last September was 15 years of marriage. I'm a very proud husband. And I will always stand up for any kind of woman. I think chivalry is dead. I was like, well, not with me. Every door opens when there's a lady walking. The problem nowadays is that you have a lot of Instagram kind of influencers that feel too good. But anyways, that's a different story. But this whole kind of thing about like a dude trying to take some kind of championship medal from a women's swimming team and stuff like that, you're rubbing the wrong person. That's when I get aggressive. That's when I get unhappy. And that's when I'm like, you're not going to take the dream away from a little 10-year-old girl by busting it, by being some kind of insecure asshole man. And I don't care what some women say about like, well, feminism, this and that. I was like, well, where are the women standing up for each other, going against that guy that's just bullying you? It's an insecure male that's bullying you. So anyways, but we can protest, or people can, do their uprising about that. And that's all granted. And, police in Germany standing like next to, and, oh yeah, cool. Great for you guys. But if you want to protest against, let's say, the economics that the government is sanctioning on you, that you cannot have more than 3,000 euros in cash, basically, for any kind of transaction, which they want to bring down now as well, from a former 500 euro bill that is taken out of the system, that you're being called a criminal. when you actually possess that you have a chance of going into jail. I'm not kidding. This is not some fable stuff. I can send you every single article for this. That now the maximum is about 100 or 200 euros. That they're trying to, obviously, we all know this, eliminate cash money. So there's going to be more control, and there's going to be more fees to be made from the banking system and centralized instances. This is all about control, but God forbid we're protesting against that we're protesting against the usage of masks that have never helped or never will help. Well, then suddenly the police is against you and starting to beat you up. And suddenly there's water cannons over there. And that's suddenly like you're not a civilian anymore. You're not a proud German. You're not a proud American. I don't think this will ever happen over here. I mean, listen, I remember when the military was over here in LA, when we had some other protests and stuff like that, to like, like it was a little while ago, it was a little ruckus and stuff. But Captain, I don't think that's going to happen over here because people are still too straightforward. And maybe not everyone is like talking about it, but we got guns here. Yeah. And I'm a proud gun owner, and you're not going to have this. And it's the last country where freedom gets written in big, big words. I became an American in 2019, and I'm a very proud American. And it's not to be some kind of like dictatorship where it's like, oh, poo, poo, poo. No. Because the guys like you, literally guys like you, we have freedom. We can do whatever we want because you put your ass on the line. But what do you get right now? Do you get that respect from this new generation? Do you get that respect from the people, for example, in Germany? No. There again, it comes back to our conversation earlier today. They're too comfortable. They're too weak. They're brainwashed. There's a narrative being pushed. And you and I, we're the resistance. We're here to break that.
Yeah. So we've gone over an hour, so I'm going to get this thing wrapped up, but I want to talk about a couple of quick things.
Okay.
So Stuttgart might be the place to go because I'm a Volkswagen enthusiast.
Oh, I love it. Oh, awesome.
I have 3 of them. I have a 66 Bug. I have a 66 Carmageddon. I have a 63 double cab pickup truck that I'm.
I love the Carmageddon. It's great. It's just like one of those classics.
Here, I'm gonna pull something up real quick. I gotta show this. I've been wanting to show. I just got my engine.
I mean, this is what it's all about. We share passion, right?
Yeah. So I got my engine finished for my 63 double cab.
Are you going to bring it on Saturday?
No, it's getting the suspension done right now. It's in Utah. The bus itself is in Utah, getting airbags and stuff put on it. But this is actually the engine. It's a 356 Porsche engine.
Yes, of course. I love it.
2.2 liter engine here.
Dope. This is so cool. Listen, when we meet on Saturday, I want to see a little bit more. You got to show me some more of the goods. But you see, RG Captain, that's passion, and I love that. So do you have like a plan already set up? How long are you going to be in Stuttgart for now?
So as far as being at Stuttgart, I think that so there's the Italy cruise from Italy to Greece. We're going to do that. Then after we're done, I'm going to get on the road, put the backpack on, and start heading towards Amsterdam. We're going to hit Amsterdam. Awesome. So I think I want to go to
tips for that too.
I think I want to go to Monaco, take a train, go to Monaco, and then shoot up like say to I think we're going to Munich. I think it's Munich.
Okay. Yeah.
And then
there's
on the way to Amsterdam, I might go to Stuttgart.
Right. But there's also an event, I believe, I don't know, I want to say anything wrong. Patrick Hexline, they're also doing an event in Amsterdam and Berlin. Was it Berlin also?
Yes, Berlin.
Okay. But you're going to have a great time over there, but I hope Stuttgart, I know this is not crypto related, but it's awesome. If you get not if you get the time, you got to make the time for this because this is history and it's innovation and it's actually part of all of this. Crypto is also some sort of innovation, right? You got to see Mercedes-Benz Museum. And I'm actually a classic Porsche fanatic. I have another one coming from Europe in the beginning of March. I love that. That's why I was like, oh shit, I love Speedster 3. It's just awesome.
Oh, there's a 356. I think it's a 1953 356 that you're going to see at Exotic Rentals. He's got one there.
Oh yeah. I saw us. It's epic. It's fun. It's great. Go to the Porsche Museum. The
Yes, I
guys
will.
like
Oh,
in our
definitely.
community, they made me a surprise. So again, this is the beauty about community. This goes again hand in hand, and this is the beauty about like all this kind of cool, crazy, fucking awesome shit that we can achieve together. So I did the seminar, the event, and which, by the way, I just want to I gotta say this because I'm just passionate about it. So I start talking about hacks, PulseChain, and like how great it is with the community. I introduced some of the guys that have done and given back a lot to the community. So, anyways, I'm blabbling over there, and then the lady that's helping me, I was like, Dean, like you've been chatting for a while right now. People might be thirsty. We organized a huge dinner before, so people were full and satisfied, just so they could relax and stuff. So, anyways, like maybe people want to go to the bathroom, they want to grab another drink and stuff. It was open bar, etc. So I went to get like a quick water, and I was like, "Hey, listen, in the break, if anyone wants to take a picture or something like that, cool." Long story short, suddenly the whole room, literally all people, are lined up for the picture, and it's actually not for the picture. Again, people wanted to be heard. People just wanted to share that 2-3 minute story with me. They wanted to. I got gifts. My wife and I were like, what the fuck? We got perfume. We got champagne. We got flowers. My wife got flowers. She was like, oh my God, thank you so much for coming. I was like, for a moment, I was like, what the fuck is going on over here? But again, it was so rewarding in a way. It was so humbling to, again, I have to go back. We were repetitive sometimes, but it's these stories about not just suicide, but kids with terminal diseases, illnesses, about family stories. My wife doesn't want to see me anymore because I don't want to wear a mask. Thank you for just being a voice that you hear. All these kind of things and more. And every single one. And that's, again, one of those moments where it was awesome. But I wasn't expecting what they were going to do. They made a beautiful day. We had a beautiful lunch. Sushi place nearby in the city. I had a little tour. A couple of guys got together and they organized this for us. And then they knew how I love Porsche. And I was like, well, when I'm in Stuttgart, I drove 6-7 hours. And I was like, I come to you guys, but I have to go to see Porsche. So they got everything set up already.
Oh yeah.
Tickets and a whole tour. One guy, so he's this architecture student, but he knew everything about every corner in the museum. I mean, that's history. That is so
Yes.
epic over there.
Oh yeah.
And you're gonna have a blast being passionate about Volkswagen, VW, and the classics,
And
especially the Bucks Carbon G. I mean, that is just so much fun because I'm excited
yeah.
for you, dude. Like I
Yeah.
wish I can be there like at the same time. I don't know if I'll make it, but it's
Well, I
something
want a
that
Turbo S. That's my dream car, is a Turbo S.
which
And
one? The modern one or a classic
yes,
one?
no, the new Turbo S.
That's a
And
fat car.
they have this thing called the Experience, where you fly to Stuttgart and
Yes, of
you
course.
buy your Porsche. The guy, the engineer that put your Porsche, or who's responsible, signs your engine block. You get to go take it out on the test track, because Porsche has a test track there. You drive it around, and then they box it up. You know, you spend a day at the museum, you do the dinner and everything, and it's called the Experience. And then boom, they ship your Porsche back home, and you fly home. So when I do get my Turbo S, I'm going to go through the Experience.
Dreams do come true.
Oh yeah.
Only if you dream big enough. So this is also, and then we're probably going to slowly calm the chat down, because I know my wife is cruising around over here. We're still supposed to have dinner. I just want to show you this real quick.
Yeah.
This is something that is just important, and it applies to everything. It says dream big. All your dreams can come true, but only if you have the courage to pursue them. And that is something that I try to focus on that a little bit more, not for myself, but to instill in others. Because a lot of people, I don't want to say they don't have the courage, but it's, when you have ants or all these insects, and outside in nature, they jump high and they're crazy and all that kind of stuff. You put them in a box, for a week, they jump till the lid goes. You let them out of the box, they just jump that same height. People get their dreams taken away because of social media. Crypto has the opportunity. You have the chance with cryptocurrency and everything surrounding that. Let's call it DeFi. You have the chance to dream bigger than you've ever dreamt before. And I'm not only talking about wealth. I'm talking about finding people as new friends, calling them family, finding like-minded people, finding people that are passionate about classic VW, about classic Porsche, about anything that you could even imagine. But you have to have that fire, that is in you already. You just got to allow to pour a little bit of gasoline on it and just.
Well, I'm glad you're here pouring gasoline on the fire, Dean. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being part of the show. And can't wait to meet you on Saturday, man. We're going to have a great time. Anything?
I see you
can
Saturday.
You tell everybody
Absolutely.
where they can find you and your stuff on socials and
I'm sorry.
Can you tell everybody where they can find the team? I mean, we're going to have it all in the description, but can you just give everybody a quick shout out of your team?
I'm the worst at shilling stuff, but just look up Crypto Machine C on Twitter, or my first and last name, Dean_Barlage. It's similar on Instagram and stuff like that. It's in the description somewhere. You'll find it.
Yep.
We see each other at a certain point anyways. It's all good.
Yep. Right on, my man. Hey, hang out.
You're a rock star.
For a quick second. Thanks. Yeah, I think you are. All right, my man. Thanks for coming.
Thanks,
hang out in the green room for just a second. I'll be right there.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. Producer, do I have something that I need to shill right now? Other than, hey, this is it, guys. Saturday's the event. Get there. California. What are you putting? You giving me something? Did you pin something? No. Anyway, PulseChainTour.com. Get your tickets. Come hang out for the VIP event at Hexotic Rentals. Look down. Oh, the Houston. Oh, I'm looking. I don't see anything in the chat there, producer. Why don't you just jump up here and say something? Are you afraid? Get your kitty cat stuff on. Don't want nobody to see it.
Gotta be kidding me. Tomorrow we have a big announcement for the PulseChain tour. We're going to be announcing on Crypto Coffee's stream at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time.
Yes, and that we can't even tease about it.
We can tease about it.
Because it's already been public. The Tang Gang's been talking.
They said one thing once.
Okay, well, I think that there is going to be an NFT drop for the PulseChain tour.
What?
What? An NFT drop
for
the PulseChain tour, and they're going to have functionality. And I think that SJ is going to be giving away some free SJs or something like that. I don't know what it is, but I just heard. Who's making them? Who is making the NFTs?
Who's the artist?
Our own SJ. A wild SJ appears, and she is making NFTs for the team and for the tour. And those NFTs are actually functional, and you will get all the details tomorrow on me and Crypto Coffee stream about them. All right, everybody. What?
I just said, come hang out, y'all. Come hang out. On the
come hang out Saturday in Irvine at Hexotic Rentals. Go to PulseChainTour.com. You see it all. Thanks for coming. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Why is Hex better than Bitcoin? Well, first of all, it's the fundamentals of the code. The fundamentals of the code are better than Bitcoin's fundamentals. The inflation model is better than Bitcoin's inflation model. The staking feature is better than a mining feature. It's new tech versus old tech. It's decentralized versus centralized. Yes, all of those things